think we are live. Good morning, good evening, welcome. Make yourself feel comfortable. Hello Diane, hello Caroline, hello Liz, hello Sharon. Good to see you all here. And as always, I will give you a minute or two to settle down. Allow this time for everybody to join in before we jump into the session. And I want to use this time and opportunity to set some housekeeping for those of you who joined for the first time and watching me on your mobile devices. You have a chance to see me in landscape or portrait. So if you flip your phone from portrait to landscape, you'll be able to see the stream in full screen or full screen, if that's what you wish to do. I've realized this morning that I very much look forward to our live sessions, and I also start having so much fun just interacting with you through your comments. And I want to thank you for everything that you do to me, everything, every interaction, every message I receive from you, every donation I receive, every word of support through your comments, through my meditations. This is very important to me, and I want to express my gratitude right here at the start of this session, that those things are very important to me. Those things sustain me in my work and allow me to, with confidence, to move forward and to introduce you more to my teachings and my words in a way that supports your well-being and supports you on your path. And having said that, I want to thank Insight Timer for make this thing possible. This is very important. And they've been supporting me for quite some time. I've been teacher here for, 6 years now. So it started with guided meditations and now evolved to this. I can stream live to you and be present more fully and interact more fully. And who knows where the technology will take us, or what will technology allow us to do together. And on that note, I want to start the formal part of the session. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tomek, and I'm a teacher here on Insight Timer. So also I'm a scientist, and that's how I usually recognize myself. Scientist is a way of thinking. It's a way of perceiving world. And I think for those of you who know me, I may not talk about new things, but I talk about things in a new way. I think some of you resonate with that, and that's where my words, that's where I address my words. That's where they land. So how are you guys today? What is your intention behind this session today? I can see so many comments. I can see Frances and Caroline saying the greetings and good mornings. Hello, Frank. I hope that Christine is there too. Hello, Jesse. Hello, Paolo. Hello, Dee. One of the things I always mention to you is the sense of community that we create here throughout those streams. I can see so many familiar faces that join me every week for those sessions, and that could not happen without you. So I want to again express my deep gratitude for your support and for you being here every week and co-creating this space for me and holding this space for everybody who's new. So maybe by the raise of hands, who's in here for the first time? I would love to know, and I'm just going to take a peek at the comment section before we jump into topic. If you are here for the first time, just raise your hand or say something. Camilla for the first time, wonderful. Kat for the first time, Tracy, Doria, Mayeke, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, wonderful. Jeffrey, Anna, Scott, beautiful, so good to see you all. And this is another aspect I always look forward. Sarah Juliet, Colleen, this is another aspect that I always very much look forward to see new faces and present my teachings and my words in a way that is the best suited for you guys, and so you can take away as much as you can for your own benefit. So today's topic, it is something that is very close to my heart. I published some time ago, I published meditation on Insight Timer called Meditation of 1,000 Returns and How to Tame the Monkey Mind. This is something that I encounter on a daily basis, the taming monkey mind and dealing with the programming that evolved in me in the form of ego for so many years, since I was very young. I was raised in Poland in a small community, in a small village close to the town called Kraków. And obviously with that community came certain upbringing. There was a freedom of exploring, unlike in the cities, kids could run freely and explore. We were surrounded by nature, and that was wonderful. But at the same time, also the community embraced, how to say it, certain rigid type of thinking, and that's also was imprinted on me before I went to high school and then to the university, and then I embraced all of that and evolved. And what I see in me right now is, and the thoughts I have and the thoughts that I experience on a daily basis are a result of that upbringing and that, how to say it, that programming to some extent. And right now I invite you to just briefly look at your life and see all those little moments from the past and how they influence you right now as you are. And I can imagine that there's many positive things that came from your upbringing and from your life until now. And also there are those things that you ponder upon and they invade your mind in the form of thoughts. And that monkey mind, I call it a friendly animal that is in your head, was raised by you and with you. And in today's session, I want you to look at your mind as a result of all so many different stories that you've heard and situations and all your experiences. And although this monkey may seem very pesky at times, it is something that we can befriend, and certainly something that can deal with, because we can make this monkey our servant, our pet, or we can allow the monkey to take over our life and allow the pesky thoughts to dictate how we feel, what we do, and most importantly, identify ourselves with what we think and how we feel. And I think this is the very important part of this session, to recognize that you are not your thoughts, you are not the emotions, you are not the same as the friendly / pesky monkey that you trained over so many years. you can make a distinction between one and the other. And making distinction is the first step to recognizing that you do not choose your thoughts very frequently. On a moment-to-moment basis, when you find yourself in the midst of a chaotic life, you realize that thoughts just come to your mind. And when you're on autopilot, you simply listen to them and you identify yourself, and you maybe even add to the story, creating more thoughts, more scenarios. But then the antidote for those overwhelming thoughts is awareness. And awareness comes as a savior in the very moment that you realize that those pesky thoughts are not you, and that you have not chosen very often to think those thoughts. And then you sit for a moment like, who asked me to think that thought? And you realize it wasn't really you. It wasn't your choice. And from that very moment, that's where the journey begins. You start consciously directing your thoughts to whatever they want to be. You consciously start directing your attention, most importantly, where you want it to be. And obviously, it's very easy for me to say that, but I very much know that this is not an easy task to do. It sounds simple, and it is simple because it takes just awareness. But to consistently come back to awareness, it's not an easy task. And we will experience that during the meditation today. That meditation is a practice of 1,000 returns. And I even dare say that life is a task that consists of 1,000 or millions, actually, of small returns. And over the course of the day, in the same way as in the course of the meditation practice, you learn and train your mind, you retrain your mind to bring yourself back over and over from autopilot, that programming that it's so persistent, and you've been trying to program yourself with it. But you've been programmed with it for so many years. You bring yourself from the autopilot and from the default mode, so to speak, into the presence through the practice of awareness. And this, for many people, is an antidote to stress, to anxiety, to sleeplessness. The trick, however, there is that you cannot just do it once. You have to do it constantly and persistently. Not even during your meditation practice, but also during the day. As I was walking to the beach yesterday, I've realized how badly I wanted to be there already, because it was a beautiful day. I was so looking forward to it. And then I realized that my breathing was shallow. I realized that I'm not paying attention to what's already around me, and I'm missing the point of this beautiful day. And that was the moment when I came back to my breath. I slowed down my steps and I said, I'm already there. I'm only 100 meters away, but everything around me is already wonderful. And that another realization that I had, that whatever we need, it's already here within you. You already have all the resources you're ever gonna need. It's only a matter of using your awareness to tapping into them, to stop for a moment, stop the train of thoughts that are continuously flowing, the autopilot. Say to your friendly / pesky monkey, stop. You are not in control of my life. You choose to stop, observe, and choose for yourself the best course of action. Maybe it is communing with the nature. Maybe it is an act of active listening to your friend or to your family member. Maybe it is focusing on the work at hand. Maybe it is cooking, whatever that is. And the moment that you realize that whatever you do in the present moment is the source of your fulfillment, happiness, whatever there is, that's where things start happening. That's where all the secrets and all the joy and love and expansion and enlightenment sit. It doesn't sit in the past, in the future, in some magical object, but it sits within you, right here, ready to be discovered. And I think that's a secret that so many people don't want to recognize. A famous teacher, Krishnamurti, at the end of his, I don't know how many decades of teaching, invited his students to tell them the secret. And obviously, so many of his students that have been listening to him for decades, well, finally we're going to find out what this is, what the secret is. And he delivered a talk, meditation, and at the end of it says, and my secret is, I don't really mind anything. And many of the students were disappointed because they were expecting something tangible, something that is of great importance, maybe a sentence that is profound and contains some unknown knowledge that they haven't been familiar with. And I think that's where the mistake for so many of us is. And that's why we are not able sometimes to deal with those pesky thoughts, because we think we need some special technique, or maybe we need another device, or maybe we need a pill that calms us down. But everything starts in awareness. Awareness that we train over a period of a lifetime. And I won't lie to you, this is a lifetime practice. This is something that starts right here, right now, and you will continuously working on it for the rest of eternity. Because awareness is the essence of everything. Every single experience rests in awareness. And if you are not aware, most likely you succumb to your favorite pest, your favorite monkey. Most science talk about the default network. It's a big part of your brain that specializes in mind wandering. That sometimes it's very important for you to relax and daydream and digest everything that happened. But if you allow that default network to direct your life, it is very likely that you will succumb to many negative experiences that came from the past, because default network is programmed with those experiences. Right? I don't know a single person that lives consist only of positive experiences. And the nature of default network is that we frequently rest in those negative thoughts. And again, the only way to take yourself out of there is a persistent training of your mind, of bringing yourself back to the present moment and bringing yourself back to awareness. And for those of you whose mind is particularly active, and I'm one of those people, I want to give you another method that helps to overcome those moments when your mind is so active and the monkey jumps from one branch of a tree to another so fast that you are not capable of doing or following it, and you're simply lost and overwhelmed. And for me, this is the practice of breathing. Again, so simple. It is not a pill, it is not a device, it is not a technology, it's not some secret practice. It's something that is always with you. So when you feel that your body, that the monkey, the overactive mind, put your body in a state of anxiety and overwhelm, and and you are not in control of it anymore. The one thing that you're always in control of is your breath. And you can, first of all, take a deeper breath. In the very way I do it now. And what I discovered, even in this very moment as I speak to you, is that I'm so excited talking to you that my body also slightly tenses up. And by taking this deeper breath, allows me to soften that tension in my body. And in this very moment, come back to myself. And this is incredible. Connecting to your breath. Taking a deeper breath. And realizing that that's where it is. Feeling and sensing the sensations that are inside of you. A beautiful way to come back to yourself. Another more extended practice of the breath, that those of you who practice with me and listen to my meditations, I call it 4-7-8 breathing technique. This technique goes deeper into the nature of breath. It's simply breathing in through your mouth on the count of 4, holding your breath on the count of 7, and then breathing in through your nose, holding your breath on the count of 7, and then exhaling through your mouth as if you blow a candle on the count of 8. So let me demonstrate. Breathing in, hold your breath, and exhale on the count of 8. And that's it. And you can repeat this sequence a couple of times. And the nature of this sequence is, the way the sequence is designed, it helps you to interact with your central nervous system and balance it out. The parasympathetic part that is responsible for rest and digest, and sympathetic part of your central nervous system. They come together being balanced to put you in a state of more equanimity, relaxation. If you are overwhelmed by either side of the central nervous system, either parasympathetic part or the sympathetic part. And that's where the holding breath and pressing against the root nerves that are connecting all the parts of your body, that helps that relaxation. So this is technique I use on a daily basis, and particularly when I feel overwhelmed. My body is tense up. My body takes control. But that takes awareness as well. And I want you to recognize the awareness component of this practice. You have to be aware, recognize first of all the situation where you feel overwhelmed. If you don't realize that you're overwhelmed, if the autopilot drives your life so strictly, you won't be even able to notice that you are overwhelmed. And so many people, as we know now, they work so hard, lured by the achievements and success, and they turn the mind into a mode of overdrive that they only stop where the body gives up. And sometimes it's a serious illness. Sometimes even takes a form of a heart attack. It happens. It happens all the time. Coronary disease and the heart diseases are amongst the most common causes of death in the world. Much more common than any virus, interestingly enough. Our heart gives up sometimes because some of us are so wrapped up in the autopilot. We become servants of of the monkey mind. And even your body tries to tell you it's time to stop, you override that with the thinking and saying, no, I have to push further and further and further. So that's why, most likely, we are all here. It started for me the same way. I was at the end of my Ph.D. writing my thesis, and that process wasn't easy. I started being very anxious. I started being depressed. And only that, finally, I'm happy I noticed it now and was asking or searching for help. Only that moment I realized, what is going on? What is this process? What is the education really gives me? What's the purpose of education if in the meantime you're gonna get a heart attack, you get depressed, or you're very unhappy and unfulfilled? And that was a moment for me to realize that, well, this is time to maybe change course of the actions. And stepping into awareness and taking care of that overactive mind, it's a radical act. Because as I said, it's not enough that you do it once or twice, or even do it every day during the meditation. That's not enough. You have to consistently practice living in awareness and directing your choices and making your choices based on what's good for you, choosing your well-being, and then as extension, well-being of others around you. Okay, so maybe I spoke about many things. Maybe you have any questions. I will take a look at the comment section and try to address some of them. And as I sit here, I recognize that functionality of the heart. For a very long time, I haven't realized what that is, but that now that I know, this is the way of showing you gratitude. And sometimes I see the stream of hearts on the right-hand side, and I think this is another wonderful way of supporting me. So thank you so much for all that heart gratitude that you send me throughout the session. I really appreciate them. Alice asks, do you have a birdie in the background? I think I have plenty of birdies. There are magpies that in the morning they sing non-stop. So absolutely, if you hear them, that's what they are, outside of the window. Tom asks, how do we not let things bother us so much? This is a very important question, and it sits in the center of the meditation practice. When you start observing your thoughts and you start detaching yourself, disidentifying yourselves with the thoughts in the process of meditation, which is a slow process, but consistent practice of that, let us have the realization, or not realization, experience that the thoughts that come to us are actually not that important. And there's a scientific fact that perhaps will help me to make my point. 90% of all the thoughts that we think throughout the day are repetitive. When I read that in some scientific article, I was astonished. It turns out I'm not as original as I think. And then I start paying attention to what I think. And indeed, I repeat the same scenario over and over again. It's called ruminating. Repeating the same story in a different way. But when you realize that, when you have experience of it during meditation, you, as Tom said, you start being less bothered by those thoughts. And battered, I think. I always like playing with words, and this is the way we are being battered by the thoughts in our head. And again, this identifying yourself, the process that happens through the 1,000 returns, help us tremendously to be at peace with all the thoughts that come and go, They no longer have a hold on us. Not so much, at least. The more we practice, the less they hold us. And what Buddhist says, in Buddhist Day, one of the important terms and what it sits in the heart of Buddhism, it's equanimity. Whatever comes your way, you just observe it equally. Positive, negative, pleasant, unpleasant, it's all the same. But again, this is not something. This is not a good teaching. This is a good discovery, as Moody would say. So you have to discover it for yourself. Christina, thank you so much for your donation. I just saw you donated. How wonderful. Thank you so much. Shaf asks, great advice. Do you have a circle on IT? Of course, I do. As a matter of fact, I can show you the link to the circle right now. That's my circle. Feel free to join it, and we always continue conversation there. Let's see if there are more questions. Amy says, ruminator. Amy, I'm the president of the Rumination Club. I'd rather you not to join, but I know we all are members. So I very much understand that. Alan asks, how do you distinguish thoughts of experience you can learn from the empty rumination? Every time that you are aware, right now, I'm aware I'm sitting here talking to you, and hence I have a control over my experience. Right? This is a moment of awareness. That's how I know that the words I'm saying to you, the words I want to say. In the moments of unawareness, thought just come to you. And the fact that you are, the moment that you start being aware and ask yourself a question, have I chosen to think those thoughts? This is a moment of awareness, and that's how you distinguish. That's the line between being aware and unaware. And then you can choose whether thoughts that I was thinking, it's something that I support, I want to think, or not. I hope that answers your question. Okay, it's Atomic Circle. Yeah, thank you, Caroline. I've realized that you might see whatever shows on the bottom of the screen. You might see it reversed. I don't know what happened there. It's a technical issue I'm still working on, and I apologize for that. Scott asked, what is the best type of meditation? There's no such thing as the best type of meditation. It is only the meditation that best suits you. And on that note, I can tell you from experience, after trying and testing so many methods, whichever method you choose is not one that is best or worse, but is the one that you stick with and you persistently continue with throughout your life and through months and years ahead. There's not a single practice that will allow you to achieve progress quickly. I give it an example. This is obviously a number that is maybe exaggerated, but it definitely takes a couple of thousand hours of practice with anything before you master it. So if you practice any form of meditation just for a week, the chances are that you are not proficient enough to judge it. But if you spend, say, 1,000 hours practicing meditation, then we can talk. Then you can evaluate yourself. Has it worked for you or it hasn't? Right? So it's a process. It's a long process. Martise asks, how do you manage repetitive thoughts? That's a very good question, because as I just said, most of our thoughts are repetitive. And my way, if I feel overwhelmed, I come back to my breath and I intentionally change the focus of my attention. I sometimes look at things around me, nature. What is around me? A great way of putting your attention into something else. And then your mind obviously will return to the repetitive thoughts. And then you, as a way of preventing that, you bring yourself to your breath, to the conversation that you're having, to conversation that you're having with other person, to nature around you. That's how you do it. Over and over again, rewiring those neural pathways in your brain to get away from you dislike or from you try to avoid to something that is desirable in the present moment. That's the way of rewiring your brain, creating those neural pathways and strengthening them. Repetition, like pretty much in every practice. Why do I constantly forget to observe and go back naturally to judging and obsessing? Miriam asks. It's simply because what we all do, we are creatures of habit. And it happens that in this society, in this world right now, we train ourselves by watching news, by interacting with other people, in the art of obsessing. Obsessing with possession, obsessing with material things, obsessing with money, obsessing with fame, obsessing with all those things that we think will bring us fulfillment and happiness. We can sometimes even obsess with the positive things. From Jack Confield, I bring the example of a mother that worries about her kid, and it's like, I'm a mother. I should worry about my baby. I care about my baby. And then Jack Confield asks that you're absolutely right. So ask yourself now, if you tell your mind, tell inside of you, where's my baby? And you worry about him. How many times do you have to repeat that in your head before this becomes valid? This is not about preventing any experience from happening. This is more about the story that you keep telling yourself and wearing yourself down down to the bone when you're exhausted and you no longer have any capacity to do anything. So again, the practice becomes very important. Kate, how do you separate acceptance and observation from feeling as if you don't care about situations which are very present, real and painful? This is a very very tough question. Acceptance and observation. In human nature, there is a psychological dynamics that happen that we suppress certain emotions. And we put them in the background simply because we are not ready to deal with them. And these things sometimes can be misunderstood as a false acceptance. We think, oh well, in the name of acceptance, I'm just going to ignore something. But that's not acceptance. That's just ignoring and suppressing something. And again, once we realize that suppression has a valid point, as I said, if you in the present moment, the current situation, you are not capable, if you feel too overwhelmed by dealing with the current situation, that's what your body does for you. Put it in the background for later. It doesn't mean that you must forget about it. On the contrary, just put it for later when you feel more capable of dealing with the thought, with the situation, with whatever that is. And then bring it on board and bring real acceptance to deal with it, to face the challenge. I'm not sure, Kate, if that answers your question, but that's how your question resonates with me. Okay. So if you have any more questions, again, feel free to join my circle and Tomac circle, where you can experience the community that we have there, and ask all the questions that you have that perhaps I don't have time or full attention to answer around now during the live session. You're more than welcome to join. And now I'll invite you to practice what we talk about and see for yourself, experience for yourself the monkey mind and how it works. And I will invite you during this practice to come back to your breath. I will invite you to acknowledge the isness of things. I would ask you to acknowledge the monkey mind that is always there. And in spite of that, through the process of bringing awareness, come back to yourself. Because meditation is a practice of 1,000 returns. And that's exactly what we will do and what we will practice. And I know for a fact that doing it together in such a wonderful group amplifies the effect of your awareness in your mind. And that's what we're going for. The sense of community always supports your cause and your intention and your purpose. So let's do it right now. Okay. So begin by settling down. Maybe adjust your position and make yourself at ease, make yourself comfortable. And this is your starting point. Speaking of acceptance, you accept the present moment as is. If there's a discomfort, you may try to soften it, adjust your position. If you can experience your monkey mind already, that's fine. We are here to befriend your almighty pet. Not trying to remove it, but simply put it in the back seat rather than the driver's seat. I always invite you to sit in a position that allow unrestricted flow of your breath. So you have that column. Your breath comes through your mouth and travels to your belly and out. So I'd like to invite you to maintain that posture that allows that, since we'll be working with your breath today. And right here at the beginning, before you start, let us put into practice what I already said. The 4-7-8 breathing technique. Breathing in through your nose on the count of 4, holding your breath on the count of 7, and exhaling on the count of 8. And we do a couple of rounds of that with your eyes open still. I want you to be present to how the breath travels in and out. And I will let you experience then and judge what influence does the technique have on you. For me, it's always interesting to observe the effects of 4-7-8 on me. So I do a couple of rounds so you will have a chance to adjust to it. Are you ready? Okay. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe normally and relax. Allow your eyes to close. And experience the effects of that breathing on your body. You may sense some tingling. You may sense other sensations in your body. And with your eyes closed, just sit and observe. How's the balance in your body, as everything is being equalized and balanced. And now I want you to connect with your eyes closed already, settle down. I want to invite you to focus on your breath. At the beginning, just notice the in and out, in breath and out breath. Perhaps for this practice, you close your mouth, rest your tongue behind the two top teeth, and breathe in and out through your nose, so you simply can experience the breath in a more refined way. And in this part of the practice, there's no need to control your breath in any particular way. You simply follow its natural rhythm. If it's short, it's okay. If it's long, it's okay. If it's shallow, it's okay. If it's deep, that's okay too. If you are aware of the breath, you are always in the present moment. Since it is not possible to breathe in the past nor in the future, awareness of the breath indicates that you are in the very present moment, which is the purpose of the meditation, to be here and now, experience the power of now. And I'm sure that even within this short period of time, you might have wandered. And the monkey mind, or the monkey, jumped between a couple of branches. Maybe it was a judgmental monkey. Maybe it was concerned monkey. It was angry monkey or sad monkey. And I want you to recognize that the moment you start being aware of the jumping thoughts, of the rumination, of the activity of the mind, you have choice. You can follow the story, you can follow your favorite pet and keep your gaze at it as it jumps from one branch to another. Or you can choose to come back to your breath. And I'm not going to tell you what choice is better, because this choice is yours. Whatever suits you, you've got the freedom to choose. And making either of the choices does not necessarily mean you are going to feel better or the situation will be more pleasant. It is simply a choice that you make, with all the consequences and everything that follows. The choice you make is the essence of your experience. Making the choice, you choose the experience. So as you focus your attention on your breath, you notice your thoughts. You notice the moment, not where your mind wanders, but when you return from that trip. In this very moment, a neural pathway has been transformed. A new neural pathway has been reinforced. And the more you practice the path of return, the stronger that pathway, the neural pathway becomes. And it becomes easier to return. Recognizing thoughts for what they are, patterns that come from your past experiences. Sometimes important, but most of the time not. And you are making a choice every single time you return to your breath. And eventually, with enough repetition, the fruits of those so many choices that you made are the inner calm, stillness, alertness, clarity, and all those qualities that we seek. Simply choosing, making your breath a tool that brings you closer every time you return to your breath, brings you closer to all those qualities that you seek. And then at some point, your mind wanders again. And you unconsciously follow the monkey mind into another thought, into another scenario. That's normal. That's okay. As I am here to help you to return. As I am here to hold the space in which you feel safe to return. Without judging yourself. Judgment only makes things worse. And we know this is a practice. And in every practice you learn from your mistakes. They are not even mistakes. Simply an opportunities to learn what works best for you. Which choice brings you closer to the goals, to your intention behind this meditation. And as you breathe in and breathe out, and you learn to befriend your monkey pet, recognize that so many of us across the world do the very same thing. Individually, we work with ourselves to bring peace, equanimity to the world. And you feel stronger by connecting with all the other souls bound by the same purpose. You feel encouraged and strong because you are not alone in this process. The struggle that you face right now is not only individual, but is as well collective. So every time your mind wanders, you bring yourself back. Repeating kindly and gently, making the choice, walking the path, returning to your breath. And now it's time to come back. Coming back to your physical senses, reconnecting the sense of touch, with all the sounds around you, recognizing the boundaries of your physical body through the surface of your skin. Being mindful and present at the same time. Continuing the process of being present. And moving your awareness now to your feet, including in your awareness the hands that rest in your lap, your sit bones on the chair, and mindfully wiggling your toes, moving and stretching your fingers, tilting your head to the left, tilting your head to the right, back to the center. And let us all together take one deep cleansing breath to finish in through your nose and out through your mouth. And when you're ready, open your eyes and welcome back. We have a glass of water. It's a good time to take a sip. Hello, Silvana. I'm sorry that you lost the meditation, but I can promise that I'll put it on YouTube so you can listen to it in the time when it's convenient for you. Thank you all for this meditation. Always, as always, it's a joy and pleasure to meditate with you and to spend some time together. As I said at the beginning of this meditation, I enjoy these sessions more and more. The more I do them, the more I think they flow. And by your presence, by you clicking those hearts and making donations and commenting and joining the circle, all the community tightens up and start having greater impact. On that note, I want to thank you for all your support. I always think about the donations that you're making through the Insight Timer as a way of shouting me a coffee. If you benefit in some way, somehow, through those live sessions, through my meditations, I would like to have a cup of coffee with you. And since we cannot be together, a nice way of doing that is just clicking the donation button and sending one to me. And I always appreciate it. Encouraged to do more of those sessions and continue my teachings. And now, thanks to Insight Timer, I'm also able to mentor you one-on-one. So for those of you who listen to me for quite some time, so many of you, and resonate with what I have to say, and perhaps want to take the conversation to the next level one-on-one, this is your invitation. Now you can do it. And Insight Timer make it possible. So many of you contacted me in the past, before that even happened, to have those sessions with me. And now they are possible. So there you go. You are more than welcome to arrange those with me as well. For those of you who missed part of the meditation or want to re-listen to it, I will always publish them on my YouTube channel. So please feel free to do that. And another way, maybe the simplest way of following me, and is simply to follow me here in Insight Timer and click the link in my bio, follow me, and click the notification so you receive a message when there's a new live event or I publish something or anything. If that's not the way you prefer to stay in touch with me, you can go to my website and sign up to the mailing list, and I will occasionally, very occasionally, send you an email with the new information that I have for you. Okay. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Martise. Thank you for your wonderful input and for your donation. Thank you, Camilla. I can see how generous you are, guys, and I very much appreciate it. Um, so once again, thank you so much for meditating with me today. Thank you for co-creating this space. And if you have more questions, please join my circle, and I'll be there to answer them, and also in the support of with the support of the wonderful community that we have there. For now, I wish you a wonderful day, a pleasant night wherever you are, and I look forward to meditating with you and being live again soon. Until next time, bye bye.